Okay, and good evening everybody. Hope we're having a good week so far. Tomorrow is Friday, so the weekend is just around the corner. Today is Thursday, the 21st of February 2013, and we're here to talk about last night's pretty good, very awesome, and a lot of people have touted it as probably the best episode so far. Episode 15 of Arrow, titled Shit, It Was Just There. Dodger. There we go. Right, anyway, and this is where we get the meet for the first time Roy Harper. Those of you who aren't familiar with the character Roy, he actually does become Green Arrow's sidekick. He's also nicknamed Speedy in some comics. Then he changed his name to Red Arrow, and then Arsenal, Roy Harper as well. He's gone by. So various names he's had over the years, but he's played by Colton Haynes of Teen Wolf fame. Before I get to the character himself, this episode, I actually quite like this episode, particularly for the villain known as the Dodger. I don't know why, there was just something about this character that just stood out from all other characters, all other villains that have appeared on the show so far. And I actually need to find out who it was that actually played the guy, because he just had this suaveness about him, this charismatic attitude, but at the same time he was a guy that you just really didn't want to piss off, of which many people actually did. But he really did come across as the kind of villain that I would actually like to see again. It's right, the actor is called James Callis, and he was very, I would say he's probably the first villain that has appeared on the show that has actually just stood on his own, pretty much was solo, but there was just something about him, it really was. So I really would like to see him appear in Arrow at some point later on, hopefully in the second season, who knows. But no, I really enjoyed his character. So his role in the show was he basically had the ability to control people, and by controlling, it's all about a neck brace that he puts around them, that basically if they don't do what he tells them, he will blow their head off. that's what it is. It's basically a bomb around their neck. Let's just say that well, actually I'm not really going to say any more further than that, because it does go around one of our characters' necks. And yeah, I felt quite, I was like, no, please, anyone but that person. But no, actually, as I say, I thought it was a really good episode. And then Roy Harper shows up. He steals, this is fun, he steals Thea Queen's purse. Okay, that's original. But then we had a few references in there, especially from all, DC Comics side of things as well, obviously. But then on the other side of this episode, you had Diggle. Now, Diggle, obviously, his brother Andy was killed in Afghanistan, during the war and stuff. And his sister-in-law, Carly, obviously was married to his brother Andy. And over the course of this season so far, you kind of feel that there's something going on between those two. Well, that there should be something going on between those two. And they had their first date, which I thought was really good, and I'm actually quite pleased for them. So hopefully things will go better for them. Now, on the other side of that one, you've got Oliver also going on a date with McKenna, this new detective who has appeared at Starling City Police Department, and she's a little bit difficult to read for me anyway. She knows Oliver from before he went to the island, before he disappeared, so they are old friends. And let's just say that she used to she once worked as a stripper. There you go. So like I said, they were old friends. So again, she gets involved with the Dodger business side of things. Then obviously you've also got, again, Felicity Smoke, played by Emily Bett Rickards, who is still unsure as to whether or not she wants to join Oliver and John Diggle's crusade kind of thing. But what was very interesting about this episode, what I really loved about it the most, was the message that it sent out about what Oliver Queen can achieve as a hero of Starling City. Now, for those of you who watch Smallville, you remember Justin Hartley appearing as Green Arrow, and his purpose was to steal from the rich. Just basically steal from the rich, because some of the stuff that they had, they bought it on the black market. They didn't really deserve to keep it, and he not only steals from the rich, but gives it to charity. So there's a hint of that in this episode, and that's what I loved about it. It was that he catches the Dodger, and the Dodger's basically saying, well, I steal from the rich because, let's face it, they don't really deserve it, kind of thing, So it's all about, it's changing your priorities, kind of thing. Then obviously again we got the flashback to the island after the incident with the second death stroke. Oliver is tending to Slade Wilson, who's got a bullet wound. It's interesting how he goes back to the cave and an encounter occurs. Again, I'm not really going to say too much about this encounter, because I think it was a focus point for the episode, but who knows what else it might be later on in the season, before the season ends. On top of that, Moira. Now, the ending for me was a big shocker. I was very surprised with what was said and what Moira's next play is going to be. Because incidentally, one of her friends, who's part of the Undertaking, if you remember from last week's episode, that was mentioned, a guy called Frank, who's played by Chin Han, who was in The Dark Knight, okay? And it kind of, I don't know, you just get this idea that Moira is going to do bad things for the good of her family. So, and that's where next week's episode is going to be quite tasty, because I've seen the promo for next week's episode, and it's going to be quite a stellar episode from what I've gathered. Deadshot returns. I did tell you he was going to come back. I did say he was going to come back. Gets an upgrade on the eye. And let's just say he works for Kelly Hu's character, China White. So, it's all going to be very, very interesting to see what happens next week. Plus, next week's episode is actually written by Jeff Johns, okay, the comic book supremo himself, he who's done Green Lantern, Flash, Superman, Batman, Earth One. I can't wait to see what he's got for us there. But he also did, I think he did the Huntress episode not too long ago as well. But Dead by Rights is his, I think it's his second episode that he's written. So I'm really looking forward to that. But like I say, overall, a really, really good episode. I would seriously love to see the Dodger come back, because like I say, I don't know what it is about him, but there was just something about him that just really made the episode worth watching. I know that although the amount of hype that Roy Harper got, he didn't really get that much screen time, which was a bit of a letdown, but again, wasn't too bad. And then the meeting between him and Thea as well later on in the episode, very, very interesting indeed. But yeah, overall, like I say, really, really loved it, and looking forward to see what happens next week. So let me know what you thought of it, as always, and I shall see you all next week. Okay, bye.